Greetings, old school magic players, and welcome to the Four Horsemen. Greetings, old school magic players. Welcome to the Four Horsemen Old School Magic Players Group. I am the Chadster. I'm joined here tonight with my good friend John Eccleberry. Good evening, John. How you doing?
I'm dandy.
Thanks for being here with me, man. It's a Wednesday night, November 15th, and we've had some interesting matches tonight. I played my Four Horsemen Tournament 9 semi-finals match and lost 2-1 to the very skilled player, Maximilian. And Max and Peter will be playing off in the finals. Tonight, John and I are going to be covering one of our early matches in tournament number 9. And for those of you who have not joined us before, John's been with the Four Horsemen since day 1 and tournament 1. We're coming up on it'll be 2 years in the summer, and we're going to be covering tonight tournament number 9 matches for Four Horsemen Old School Magic. This is a format that focuses on the original Four Horsemen expansion sets for Magic the Gathering, Arabian Nights, Antiquities, Legends, and the Dark. You can check us out at fourhorsemenmagic.com, and you can join our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/4horsemenmtg. We are doing a new tournament coming up in just a few days, actually. It's our Winter Spice Tournament, number 10. We are doing Pauper Doubleton. This is a all commons format, and Doubleton is 2 of each common card. We're running this tournament from November 17th through December 22nd. And if you'd like to check it out, just check out fourhorsemenmagic.com and go to the tournament section, click on tournament 10. It's a really interesting card pool. John actually put this original card list together, 255 common cards, including all reprints and all the Magic Online common reprints. And our players are very excited. We have almost 20 players signed up for this tournament number 10. Don't forget, if you like playing old school Magic, you can join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where John and Peter Soltesz, one of our other long-term players, are hosting our Four Horsemen weekly meetups Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Join us for camaraderie, games, and deck texting. All right, so John, let's talk about Four Horsemen Tournament number 9. This tournament ran from October 13th, and it's wrapping up in just a couple days, November 19th. John, what have you thought about Tournament 9 overall?
I had fun playing it. It's kind of significant that we updated the banned and restricted list. We went from being a 4-strip format to a 1-strip format, which is kind of a big deal. That really changes the landscape. And we also threw a few more cards on the restricted list that we felt were problematic and really slowed down gameplay in the other tournaments. In tournament 7, we had some really long games. And we ended up getting away from that by playing Pauper the following month and then giving ourselves some time to think about what we wanted to change about the format. And I think we landed on a pretty good place. There were some really fun decks. It wasn't just more of the same. More people were experimenting a little bit, trying to find some fun combos. Yeah, it's. I think we're in a pretty good place right now. Yeah, like you can see, Ivory Tower, Maze of Ith, and the Abyss all could bring games to a crawl. Strip mine going down to 1 is a big deal, and along with that, we limited the other powerful lands. So Mishra's Factory and Mishra's Workshop both got downgraded to 1 copy. I don't think I saw a single robots deck in this tournament, which is interesting. I think it'd still be playable. I certainly played a fair number of artifact creatures in my deck because I was still scared of the Abyss even at 1 copy, and there's a lot of other color hate and removal out there. So I kind of wanted to supplement my colored creatures with artifact creatures at the top. But I think we're in a good spot. You will see a lot of the same cards played. A lot of people decided to play black this month, more so than we've seen before.
Yeah.
And a lot of either black splashing blue or black splashing red. And then a lot of people were also supplementing with green as well. So like there's several decks that have the Sindbad Sylvan Library draw engine going on.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also people that didn't do that. Like you're going to see Mike in this tournament has a mono red deck, I believe. No, he has green cards too. He's red green.
Yeah.
But he definitely goes for a different aggro strategy than a lot of the other decks that we're seeing. So yeah, this is a good place to be, I think.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent summary. And this is only the second time we've updated the banned and restricted. Previously, Moat and Library of Alexandria were restricted, and we ended up banning them just because they're so game swinging. And then we added Ivory Tower. We added the factory and ultimately Workshop, Maze of Ith, and Abyss and Strip Mine to the restricted list. There were 4 strips previously, and that was pretty brutal. A lot of people had to run 27, 28 lands, which was really challenging. So yeah, I totally agree with you, John. Like this is a really good place to be, and we're seeing a lot of different decks because of it. All right, so let's take
I also think restricting factory and strip is good because instead of having 8 auto includes in every deck, now it's only 2.
That's right.
So that just gives a little more deck space to work with. And there were also people running 4 Maze of Iths in previous tournaments.
Yeah.
Not only did it make games really slow, but again, it felt like it might be another auto include in a lot of deck archetypes. So like, I don't know. I just think this is a better place to be.
Yeah, it is really good. And yeah, 4 mazes of Ith and Abyss and Moat and all these crazy things. It ultimately the format is designed around having fun and trying to like play these old school cards from these first 4 expansions that a lot of them don't see play in a lot of the other mainstream old school formats. So yeah, this is where we're at. And like we said earlier, if you'd like to play and join us, check us out at fourhorsemenmagic.com. And we can join in on any of our tournaments or Thursday night meetups. Okay, so let's dive into the brackets here. If you've watched our earlier video, Nick and I played and ended up beating Nick 2-0. Today in this video that John and I are going to be covering with you, we're going to be covering the match of Mike Clements versus Maxime. And here's a quick snapshot thumbnail overview. So Mike is playing a red-green Aggro Inferno deck. It's got Chain Lightnings, Ball Lightnings, Bloodlust, Earnham Gens, and it's running Inferno, which is very spicy. It's a card a lot of people overlook or think it's a sorcery, but it's actually an instant. Very expensive to play, but extremely powerful. 5 and 2 red, and it does 6 damage to all players and creatures. So really cool card. And then on the right we have Maxime's Sylvan Sindbad Nethervoid deck. This is a deck that was inspired by a deck that I built, and I built an early Nethervoid deck and shared it with Peter. And Peter took that Nethervoid deck and combined it with his like Sylvan Library Sindbad drawing deck, and came up with this hybrid Nethervoid deck that's very powerful, and Max is undefeated in the tournament so far. John, let's take a look at Mike Clement's red-green Aggro Inferno deck. What do you think about Mike's build here?
Well, this is a strategy that is close to my play style. I certainly like the lower to the ground aggro. It's a little tough in this format because there's not any good red 2-drops. So if you tried to go mono red, there's a bit of a hole there. But he's filling that hole with green just fine because he's got he's got the Pixies, he's got the Curd Apes come out early and function as bigger creatures than just crappy little 1/1s. He's got some flyers. I was interested to see that he played 4 Pixies, but I think it is good to have some evasion. The flying is good there. They might be better than the Fire Drake that he could have played because Fire Drake clogs up the 3 slot, and it's just not that much better. So maybe the Pixies are really the way to go here. I don't know. I like it. He maxed out on Bloodlust. He maxed out on Ball Lightning and Chain Lightning. Like he's just going for the throat, right?
But he's not running 4 Pyrotechnics, and he's not running like 2 or 3 Brothers. Instead, he's opting.
Well, I think 3 Pyrotechnics is probably enough. It's a 5-cost card. I mean, it is at the top of his curve, and he's basically playing an Inferno in place of the 4th one, which I think is fine. And also, Brothers of Fire is very good, but it's also very slow. So I think he's just trying to stay away from too many 3-drops here. Like, he opted to just play 4 Ball Lightnings instead of any other 3-drop he could play, which is a little awkward in 2-color because you're not always going to hit 3 red on turn 3 when you've got 2 colorless lands and 5 forests in your deck.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
Well,
I also think it's really interesting in his board that he's got the pro red guys. So potentially he could Inferno and those guys would survive and then he'd have something left to attack with.
The Beast of Borgadon, right?
Yeah, they're really good. And also the other Pyrotechnics is in the board there. So like if he plays against the deck that that card's good against, he can bring it in. Here's the last thing I'm going to say, and I'll shut up and let you talk about this deck. But I think it's interesting that check out his sideboard. It's all whiteboarded.
Yeah.
And so I like that the sideboard's all whiteboarded. It's easy to figure out what to pull out. There are some whiteboarded cards in the main, but it's fun that he played all like a whiteboarded Pyrotechnics in the board. Whiteboarded one.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
He's got an original Detonate and 4 original active Volcanoes. But yeah, all the other whiteboarded Blood Moons and Shatterstorms and the Beasts of Borgadon. Yeah, I guess my comments would be I've noticed he's only running 3 Fellwar Stones instead of 4, and he's not running the 4 Elves of Deep Shadow. Like, that the 4 Fellwar Stones and the 4 Elves of Deep Shadow have become the staple of mana ramp. It's like, that would be like not running Moxen in your, Swedish or Atlantic deck. Like, you would never do that, right? So I'm really...
The elves don't help cast Ball Lightning, though, right? Like, the stone might.
Fair enough.
The stone might make red.
Yeah, I mean, if I were, if I were looking to make some modifications, the Pixies are significantly diminished with Factory being restricted, and they're still good, but they're not great. And there's also Desert. Desert is a thing, and Desert just completely waxes the Pixies. So
I don't think he has them in there for necessarily just for their pro artifact ability. I think it just is an indication of how bad the 2-drops are in this format.
Yeah.
And that was just the best 2-drop you could come up with. I mean, you could play Barbary Apes.
Yeah, Barbary Apes a 2/2.
Which is just a bear.
Right.
And I actually think maybe in the current format, I like Barbary Apes better than the Pixies. The Pixies can't be shot by Triskelion, though, right?
The Pixies cannot be shot by Triskelion. That's what makes them, good versus robots. I mean, here's what I would say. Like, I think he needs the ramp mainly for the Earnums, right? Like, everything is about Earnum Gen.
Yeah.
Everything is about Earnum Gen. Like, that is like almost every Four Horsemen deck is running 4 Gens. That's how good and powerful that creature is. No matter what you're running 4 and a bunch of other shit. So, like, I think he needs to be running. And listen, I love Mike Clements. Like, I think he's hilarious. I think his sense of humor is fantastic. He's been a supporter of Four Horsemen since day one, and like, I love his commentary. Like, every time we do a video with Mike, like his insights are so great. And I'm always rooting for him to win. Like, I want Mike to win one of these tournaments. But in this case, I think he needs to axe the Pixies and put in the Elves of Deep Shadow for Mana Excel. That's what I would do.
Yeah, maybe. Is he so he doesn't have any Pendelhavens in this deck?
And no Pendelhavens.
Yeah,
he could have easily swapped.
You want the forest for the Curd Ape though. So like, you don't want to not use one of your forest slots. But he does have a lot of cards that would work with, and if he had the elves in there in place of something else, it would work with those too.
I agree.
I don't know. It's tough though, because he has 1, 2, and 3 drops to just play Earnum on curve rather than trying to accelerate him out. And I actually think it might be a mistake in this format to try to just power out fatties, because then like they just get removed and you don't have anything. And I don't know. I played a deck that had 4 Earnums, 4 Whoosdoms, and 4 Serendibs, and I was just kind of trying to play Ifrits out there, and they're good, they're efficient cards, but at a certain point, I was getting killed by the Forest Walk. I was getting killed by the damage that the other guys do.
Right.
I don't think this is awful to just play Earnum on curve rather than trying to accelerate him.
Fair enough. He's also not running any City of Brass. One of the ways he could make sure that he can cast that ball lightning is he could be running City of Brass, so that, he's got 11 mountains. He's really leaning into the red. He's got 5 forests and 4 taigas, so he's only got 9 green. He could swap out 4 of those mountains for 4 City of Brass, and he'll have whatever mana he needs, because then he's got 4 taigas, 4 cities, and if he drops the Pixies and puts in, I would drop the 3 Pixies and 1 Fell War and put in the 4 Elves of Deep Shadow, and then he'll be running, I think, a much more optimal build.
Yeah, you do yourself a lot more damage between the elves and the.
You do, but
I don't think this deck cares. I think this deck just is balls to the wall.
Yeah.
Kill them faster than they kill you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, all this thing wants to do is play Ball Lightning and Earnum Gen, and finish them off with Inferno. Like, that's the whole thing. All right. So I think we love you, Mike. We love you, Mike. All right. Let's go to Maxime Delagnou, I guess is how you say it. So Max is a friend of Peter Soltesz. They are living up in the beautiful, I guess it's Ontario, Canada area. And, Max has been also a supporter for Horsemen, and he bought one of our playmats, and Peter has been supporting us since Tournament 1. So Peter actually helped Max build this deck, like I said earlier. It was inspired by a Nethervoid deck that I was building, and Peter took it and improved upon it significantly. John, what do you think about Max's build here, the Sylvan Sindbad Nethervoid deck?
I like it. It's kind of, if you took my deck and you took Peter's deck and you cut them in half and you made a Frankenstein's monster, it's this deck. I was playing all the Djinns and the elves and the Sylvans and the oubliettes, and like, I'm ashes to ashes. Like, this deck is very similar to mine, but I wasn't playing the drop of honeys or the Nethervoids, and that's 8 cards there, right?
Yeah.
And then I wasn't playing Sindbad and I wasn't playing Recall, so that's 12, 12 cards that are different. So that's fairly significantly different. And in those slots, I was basically just playing like artifact creatures and I don't know, maybe more removal or something. It doesn't look. He's got the full 4 ashes to ashes, and does he have 4 oubliettes there? Is that are all 4 of those?
Yeah. It's 4 oubliettes on the left, and then 4 ashes to ashes on the right. You were running Clockwork Avian and Triskelion, which he's not running.
Yeah, he doesn't have any trikes. That's interesting. Most of the decks in this format have at least 1 in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I like his sideboard is pretty interesting too. I like the Hercules Recall. It's funny, the last time I tried to play that card, I was playing you in 93 Singleton, but the funny thing is that card is not legal in 93 Singleton. And when I cast on you, you're like, wait a minute.
That's an Antiquities card. That's a 94 card.
So, what can you do? Maybe I need to play it in this format. Maybe it could be good.
Well, the problem with it is, though, is that, like, if they have Triskelion, it's fucking terrible. Because they're going to shoot you for 3, and then you're going to pop your Triskelion back, and then they're going to play it again next turn, and they have 3 more counters. Like,
yeah, they just reload it, right?
It's only good against Clockwork Avian, and maybe Suchi. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be good to pop your Felwar Stones back and, like, slow you down, or pop your Jaloom Tome back. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think that the Hercules Recall is I don't think it's a strong. I don't think it's a strong add to the sideboard here. I think he could be better off with, he's got the 3 Dandans. I mean, like, he could be better off with, like, Crumble, honestly, in my view.
And then he's got, Crumble's probably a card that should be in the 75. And also, I think, Backfire's interesting because, Spirit Link would be better, but he's not playing white, and so that's kind of the concession. You're like, well, I guess I'll play Backfire instead then.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Backfire.
Which is fine. What does he side out when he sides, though? Does he just go, okay, Nethervoid's bad against this deck, I'll take these out and put, my cheap guys in or whatever? I kind of wonder, because there's so many cards in the main board that you don't really want to side out. I mean, I guess you could side out some of the removal because there's so much of it.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. In the matches I played, like, he did not sideboard out Nethervoid, and I was running Felwar Stone and tons of land and Elves of Deep Shadow, and he still left him in. I think it's like kind of crazy the amount of overkill of anti-creature. Like, he's got 12 anti-creature cards plus 4 mana drains. He's got 4 drops of honey, 4 oubliettes, 4 ashes to ashes. If he played all 4 ashes to ashes, he'd be dead. It's 20 damage. Like, I don't really understand why there's so many ashes to ashes, so many drop of honey and oubliette, and then
it's such a backbreaking card. You want to draw him, right? Because you're not going to probably draw all 4 of them in the course of a game. Well, does he have a Fountain of Youth in his deck, or am I just thinking of somebody else?
That's the other thing. That's the other thing, John. There's absolutely no life gain. 0 life gain in this deck. There's no Ivory Tower. There's no Fountain of Youth. There's not even, like, a Diamond Valley. Like, that really, like, shocks me. But it is.
I think Diamond Valley is, like, a new defining card of this format. Like, it really, it can break parity in games and give you that extra turn you need.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you had a cool play tonight. You didn't win the match, but you had a cool play tonight where you were able to use Diamond Valley.
Yeah.
It's very good.
All right. Well, we love Max too, and we're glad to have him. And this deck is all obviously, like, killer. Max has gone undefeated in the tournament so far. And with that, we're going to take you to the match. This will be the Four Horsemen Old School Magic quarterfinals for tournament Number 9, Mike's Red-Green Aggro Inferno versus Max's Sylvan Sindbad Nethervoid.
I don't think I've seen any games where Nethervoid really comes out strong. We'll see. Like, his deck's really good, but it almost doesn't need the Nethervoid because all the other cards are very good.
How you doing?
All right, so we're gonna mute these guys. John, can you see my screen okay with the video feed here?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so John, you were recording these matches while I was like incapacitated. I was dead to the world. And
half dead.
Yeah. Glad you were able to do that. I'm gonna try and like skip ahead a little bit here. Man, these guys are seriously shuffling. Okay.
Well, not only shuffling, but something that I noticed in this tournament more so than normal is that people really like kind of just took their time to chat. And I I just said, "Hey guys, I'm turning the recording on, have fun." And then it was really interesting to listen to people like really talk for a while. You know, a lot of the players really I feel like had some good conversations, which I know doesn't help this video at all, but it was really nice to see that we're kind of like building an actual community here.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really cool. And honestly, that's what it's all about. Okay, so it looks like Mike rolled and Max, I love seeing the Four Horsemen playmat that Max has got there. Okay, so Mike's taking a look here. Who's gonna go first?
Well, I'm gonna take a mulligan.
Oh, okay. So Max is mulliganing here.
Yeah.
Wow.
All
right. So we really need to skip ahead here because now Max is gonna mulligan. All right. So he's drawing his new 7. He's gonna put one on the bottom.
All right. I guess I'll keep that.
So, John, when you were recording these matches, were you like paying attention, watching them all, or were you like kind of doing other stuff?
Some of them I just turned the recording on and I went and watched a TV show with my wife and then came back when it was done.
Yeah.
Others I watched depending on what was going on.
Right.
I always try to kind of listen out of the corner of my ear too in case somebody has like a rules question or something.
Sure. Right. Okay, so Max starts off with a Bayou and a Elves of Deep Shadow. Now, this looks like a new playmat that Mike Clements has. This is not his normal playmat.
No, it's not. It is a different mat than he normally plays on.
Yeah, and he's got some different sleeves, too. He's always spicing it up with interesting things like this. Shadowmoor. Okay, so Max plays another Bayou. And
definitely not a new set. So.
That right. So Max plays another Bayou, attacks with the Elves. So Mike's taking a point, and then he plays a Taiga for turn 2. So he's got Taiga and a Factory, and he's going to tap those 2 down. He's going to probably play like the Pixies or something here. Oh, it's the Fire Sprites. Now, the good thing about the Fire Sprites is they can convert a mana to red, right?
Yeah, if he needs to, they can turn, I believe, a colorless into a red or a green into a red. Can they do a green into a red? I forget. I'll go look it up. But at any rate, they might be able to help him hit. Yeah, it turns a green into a red. So what you can do is you can play that on turn 2, and then potentially play a ball lightning on turn 3 still, right?
That's right. That's where they come in to be very, very handy, is getting that turn 3 ball lightning if you can get it. So if he plays a mountain here, he could actually there he goes. So he drops a mountain, he could tap that factory and convert it to a red and play a ball lightning and, you know, hit for 6, trample the Urnum if he blocks, whatever. But looks like he's not going to do that. He's going to fly over.
Well, he's still got that colorless from the factory to worry about, too.
Yeah. So he flies over with the sprites for 1, so they're 19 and 19. Oh, actually, they're 19 and 18 because Max hit him for twice with that elf, I think. Okay, another fire sprite for Mike, and then pass turn. Oh my gosh, look at this. So, holy crap. That's a turn 4 Nethervoid. Or turn 3 Nethervoid.
That might just lock Mike out of the game because he was able to get Urnum down and play another Void before Mike could really play much of anything.
Oh, wow.
He's just got his 2 little flyers.
I mean, that is so strong and so rough, right? Like, he gets the Urnum out, and then the next turn he drops the Nethervoid. But that's what you want to do. That's what that deck is designed to do.
Well, it's funny because I just got done saying earlier I didn't remember watching any games where he got to drop it like that, and here we are, game 1.
I mean, it's so early. Like a turn 3, a turn 4 Nethervoid, you know, turn 3 Urnum and turn 4 Nethervoid. That's really, really, really hard to deal with.
So let's see. I mean, Mike still has some outs against the Urnum. Like, he could cast... Well, I guess he can't even cast a Bloodlust right now, can he? Because it would cost 5.
Yeah, it costs 5. He can only cast things that cost 1 right now, and he doesn't have... That's
really rough.
All he can cast is a Chain Lightning. But meanwhile, Max drops another land, so he can tap his elf and take a damage, and he can play his Sindbad for 5, 2 plus 3.
Oh my. Huh.
Man, wow, this is
So he just didn't attack with the Urnum. He just didn't care to.
Well, he could block with the factory and the two fire sprites, and he could pump the factory and kill the Urnum. He could deal 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's exactly 5. So I guess that's the logic there. I guess better to wait for, you know, an Ashes to Ashes and get rid of both his blockers.
So during my upkeep,
because I feel like that's what's going to happen here if they sit here for too long. I feel like Max is just going to draw an Ashes to Ashes and blow Mike out.
Max is really good at top decking lands with his Sindbads. He even without the Sylvan Library, he's just like really good at drawing those lands off the top.
Yeah.
I mean, he did that to me.
Yeah, he did it a bunch of times tonight.
Yeah, he did it a bunch of times to me tonight without even like rearranging the cards with Sylvan, just like tapping Sindbad. Oh, it's a land. No problem. Oh, I'll do it again. Oh, I got another land. He's really good at it.
And turn T. Sure. I will discard a Inferno and I will pass. 7 and 8.
Oh, look who's here. Hi, Audrey. Hi. What are y'all doing up? In the middle of the night?
Underground C.
You want a cake in the middle of the night?
And I will swing for 4.
How did she wake up?
I'll take it again. Right.
Oh, you're safe.
And turn T. Sure. Just be careful. I was gonna say be careful when you draw your card and you look at it. It's just to the limit that we can almost see what it is.
Yeah, I'll show everybody. It was a Tega. I've been waiting for that one. All right. Maybe I can play this now.
Okay, I'll get you some dice.
Another
Okay?
void.
Hey, right on, Mama.
2, 3 cards in hand for you.
I'm gonna get her some dice.
I
Show us some dice. Hold on. I'll get you some. Here's your water. Hold on, wait.
Swing one in the air.
Alright.
Okay, Andrew, here's your dice.
And I'll pass.
Okay. And you're at what? 7?
7. Yeah.
Alright. I'll draw. Play 8. See your brass.
Sure thing.
I'll shoot for 4.
I'll declare block with the fire spray.
Okay.
And I will try 5 in the pool. Cast a bloodlust on it.
So it gets.
Becomes a 5/1.
It becomes a 5/1. I'm gonna mana drain this.
Sure. Yep.
Ugh.
And
He finally drew his out, and it gets mana drained.
I'll just leave my mana drain here so I don't forget if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I don't think there's a way out of this now. I guess he could have a second bloodlust
Alright.
and try that same trick again, but Mike's in a bad spot.
And draw. I'll play a Underground Sea.
Max has just got so many lands; he can just do whatever he wants over there, despite the Nethervoid. Whereas Mike is really just locked out. I mean, at best he can play a 3-drop now, and it's just too late. I don't know what he's gonna do about this Urnum.
Use that up. I'm gonna use 2 colorless. That's 3. 4, 5. And I will play a second Sindbad.
Mana Drain and Nethervoid also seem to be quite nice together because you can get all that extra mana to cast your stuff.
And
Yes.
then you've got
I have a
Sindbad, and then
Tropical, 2 Underground Sea, a City of Brass, a Bayou.
so far behind here. I gotta look for it. I'll try to block and do that again.
Well, Mike does have a second bloodlust.
Drain it again.
That's cool. I waited too long. I saw this coming a mile away. Good game.
And
You
I'm
got
gonna
this one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I can't. I got no
Alright.
connection. You just go wide, even if I take care
Did
of
he
your.
have
You just swing with your 1/1s. I can't.
5 mana to mana drain that?
That
It was open?
Didn't have enough mana.
Yeah, I got lucky that they started coming out.
I gotta go fast.
Okay, John.
Rule with aggro.
What's been going on here? I had to step away for a sec.
So Mike was able to cast a bloodlust and block the Urnum, and unfortunately got mana drained.
Ugh.
And then he cast another bloodlust the next turn, and that also got mana drained.
That's the
And
same thing that happened to me.
basically
Yeah, Max had
sealed
all
it.
the mana drains. Every time you needed them, they were always there. Wow. Okay, so
That last game, though, I mean, I don't think there was probably a player, but like when he played the second mana drain, I'm not sure he had 5 up to play it. I think he only had 2 up, but maybe not. I don't know.
Depends on who you talk to. Get a lot of people around.
What do you
But it's for the most.
do? And he kept on, he's a doctor, and he kept sometimes that's just like, what do you mean? Doctor, you're doing aesthetic and Botox and all that, and you're making, well, he's on the way to be making quite a lot of money.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, but like every time I talk to you, it's like you're not working.
They're talking about a plastic surgeon who never does any work. That's funny.
You don't have a choice.
I don't know. I'm big on time is money. And if you have a lot of time to have fun, that's great. Wonderful thing about what I do, at least I can close the book at the end of the day, and I don't have people counting on me to stay alive.
That's it. That's the big difference.
That was the difference when I was 100% clinical working. Yeah, it was completely
Wow, is
different.
Mike a doctor?
And now it's 5 o'clock comes around.
He's a nurse.
Students can deal with it tomorrow.
Oh.
It'll be okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right.
You
I'll
also
take the
say you
plate.
have kids?
Or was. He does a lot of teaching now, so
I'll keep that one.
teaching other nurses
Yeah, we
presumably.
got some, well, at least one spectator. Hi, Peter. How's it going?
Oh yeah, Peter jumped in to watch the rest of this match. So he ends up spectating on game 2 here.
As he often does.
Get a sense of who he's gonna have to play later.
Right. He's always
And,
he's always cheering everyone on, watching the matches, and scoping out the decks. So Mike plays a very nice, unlimited signed Taiga. Look at that.
That's some money right there.
Yeah, that is. And he's got his coaster. What's his coaster card for his beer?
Oh, I'm sure it's a Fallen Empires card. I think it's a 10 Elvish Hunter.
Oh. It looks like a blue card.
Oh no, maybe that one's different.
Yeah.
I don't know what that one is then.
Well, he drops the first turn Fell War, and meanwhile Max plays a City of Brass and an Underground, passes. All right, so Mike has a chance to pull ahead here. He's got 4 mana on turn 3. He could drop an Earnum here, and there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
And of course, Max, as he always does, he always has the mana drain. Oh my god, he always has it, no matter what.
When you're on the receiving end of that, like, enough games in a row, it feels so miserable. Like, and then, like, it's gonna, any ground that Mike thought he was ahead is totally lost here. Because not only does he counter his card, but now he's got that 4 colorless mana next turn, and he can play his own Earnum, or he can play another Void, or he can play multiple cards, depending on what he's got. But he's got, 6 mana to work with.
7 with the
turn 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 7 on turn 3 because he played a land.
Yeah, it's really backbreaking.
So,
I mean, maybe this is, oh, well, did he have to mana burn here? Because, oh no, he drops his Earnum for...
I mean, I know we don't want to just restrict cards into oblivion, and I know we don't want to take away some of the stuff that's unique about this format, but there really is no other format that allows more than 1 mana drain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also no other counter spells. There's no traditional counter spell here, or Power Sink or Spell Blast, so it's really all blue has. Like, I mean, Flash Counter's pretty bad at doing the things that mana drain does. I mean, I guess there's Remove Soul, which is a pretty fair counter spell, and it's pretty decent in this format with people playing a lot of creatures. So maybe mana drain is gonna end up on the restricted list at some point here.
Yeah. You see here, he just drops an Earnum he taps 1 Pendlehaven, he pays 3, drops the Earnum. So I guess he mana burned for 1, but he basically got a free Earnum, and he countered Mike's Earnum. It's really, really rough. Okay, so Mike comes back with a Fire Sprite, and he's got 5 mana now. And meanwhile, Max drops the Tropical Island. Now Max is up to 4 mana. So if Max drops another Nethervoid here, it's just like game over again. Okay, so, interesting. Mike is blocking with the fire sprites and bloodlusting.
Again, I love it. Does it work this time? Does it stick?
Oh, it looks like Max has another mana drain. He's tapping tropical. What is this? What is this? What is this card? It's some kind of proxy card.
It's a proxy ashes to ashes.
Yeah, that he can't play that as an instant.
That's not an instant.
He's
so
trying to play
know.
that as an instant? No way. Okay, so yeah, you can't do that as an instant. Weird that he would even try.
Well, since they're all proxies, maybe he didn't know.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe he doesn't, and then Mike had to be like, "Nah, man, that's a sorcery, buddy."
Okay, so Mike drops an Urnum of his own. Yay, Mike.
So he's back in it. He had the Urnum, and then Max had the Urnum, and now he has the Urnum. It's he who holds the Urnum.
Oh my god, the mana drain again? Are you fucking kidding me? How many mana drains is this guy running? What the hell?
All of them.
Oh my god, like every time he has like doubles in his hand every single time. It's a little weird. I mean, in all the games I played against him, he always had 2 mana drains in his hand. Like, I'd mana drain, he mana drain, my mana drain. I'm like, what the hell? How do you always have 2 mana drains every single time? Okay, so now Max is dropping Sylvan off of some of the mana drain mana. And he's gonna what, man? He's gonna mana burn for 3? Did he mana burn for 3?
I guess so. He didn't play anything.
It's kind of hard to see his life total here. He had to mana burn for 3 there. Okay, so Mike comes back and plays his second fire sprite. It's weird. Mike's got a ton of mana, and he's only playing like 1/1 flyers. Where's his ball lightnings? Like when he needs them, you know, like ball lightning right here would be really great.
He could play 2 ball lightnings right now.
He actually could, because yeah, he's got City of Brass on the other side for Felwar. All right, so Max drops the Sindbad.
Well, if he doesn't have good cards in his hand left, he's going too soon. He's going to start filtering those lands off with that Sindbad.
Okay, so Mike gets the Sylvan Library of his own, right? And now the drawing engine starts for Max. Now Max pulls ahead because from here on out, like Max is going to be drawing 2 cards per turn, basically every turn. He'll put the land as the second card down. He'll draw the top card, and then he'll tap the Sindbad to draw the card off his deck, and that will always be a land because that's how you place it back. So now, I think from here it's just like Max is just going to pull ahead because it's going to be 2 draws to 1 draw every turn. There he does. Oh, it's not a land, it's an elf. So he's getting rid of a card he doesn't want. He did not want the elves. All right. So now Mike gets the Sylvan Library. That's really good for Mike right now because he can dig 3. And man, would a ball lightning be sweet right here. He could pay to buy
another something.
Yeah, he could pay 4 to draw an extra one, but he elects not to.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to scrape all 3 of them off, but life's
He's saying sometimes he wants to draw all 3 and pay 8. Okay, 2 red, 3 red.
Just want him off the top of your
ball
library.
Ball lightning. Come on, ball lightning. Oh, Blood Moon. Ooh. Interesting. Now this. Oh, no. Come on. Flash Flood. Oh, that's a proxy Flash Flood? Oh, shit. That's what that is. So he tapped the tropical and Flash Floods. Wow. Holy crap. Max just always has it. Oh, here comes the ball lightning. No, you do not have a mana drain, Max. That'd be like your third mana drain. Are you fucking kidding me? John, are you seeing this?
Yeah, every time.
That's
Every
like
time.
that's the third mana drain. How is that possible?
Well, he does have 4 in his deck, but it is pretty rough that
I'm literally
just every turn
I'm in shock over here.
Mike is just running into a stone wall.
I'm in complete shock over here. Like my mouth is like wide open. I cannot believe this. The third mana drain to mana drain the ball lightning. I just like can't believe it. Wow.
And it's funny, this is the second time he's had to take mana burn, I think. Or does he play? Maybe he plays something here.
So he drops an Urnum here.
Oh, well, there it is.
It's like
There's
a free. It's a free Urnum.
Yeah, he's like, oh, let me counter your best spell and drop a fatty. Sweet.
I just cannot believe it.
It's hard to win when all your cards get countered.
Where are those boosted packs at the bottom of our screen? Just sign on the background?
Man, I feel bad for Mike here. It's so painful. It's like, Jesus. Blood Moon.
I mean,
again.
watching all of this makes me feel like I might just go back to Mono Blue next month.
Oh, come on. This cannot be real. He has another Flash Flood? You telling me he's had 2 Flash Floods and 3 mana drains?
No, it's totally cool. I've seen worse, trust me.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, I'm in shock. That's 2 Flash Floods and 3 mana drains? Are you freaking kidding me?
It's pretty wild. It's just all the silver bullets.
It's funny to see, like, you know, what kind of cards I considered the cards back then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, times have definitely changed. I'll swing for 1.
All right, I'll go down to 11.
Wow.
And
Oh, man. I mean, Mike has had 2 Blood Moons, and somehow they both got destroyed with Flash Flood responses.
Well, and it's interesting too, right? Because Flash Flood's not a elemental blast. So what you have to do is you have to add the mana to your mana pool with the Blood Moon on the stack, let the Blood Moon resolve, and then use the colored mana that's in your pool to cast the card to destroy it.
Right.
Like, it's kind of interesting.
So
But I mean, it works just fine.
So now Max drops the Abyss. He plays Abyss and attacks with his Urnum from his 3rd mana drain.
No, Nethervoid, right? He
Oh, I'm
plays a
sorry.
Nethervoid.
I'm sorry. What am I saying? Nethervoid. Yes. Drops the Nethervoid to lock shit up. At least
just to rub salt in that wound. Hey, now that I've counted all your cards, anything you draw is really expensive.
Wow, yeah. Well, that's how that. I mean, the Nethervoid thing was like an idea that I was tinkering around with very early on, and I felt like it was really good. Now that that Factory was restricted.
Yeah, I remember you playing me with a Nethervoid deck.
Very early, yeah,
really early.
So I really like it. I mean, first turn, Elves of Deep Shadow. Second turn, Serendip Efreet. Third turn, Urnum. Fourth turn, Nethervoid. It's just a recipe for winning, All right, but check this out, Mike.
I think Blood Moon number 3 is too little too late.
Yeah, he finally gets Blood Moon number 3 in, and it, after 3 mana drains and 2 Flash Floods, he finally gets his 3rd Blood Moon, and now all of Max's lands are mountains, but he's got an Urnum in play and a Sindbad, And all Mike has is a fire sprite. So it's yeah, you're right. It's just way too little too late. He taxes the earning for 4. Looks like Mike's at 10 now. And it looks like Max is at 9. So now Mike doesn't have any green mana because his Taiga's now a mountain. So if he needs green, he doesn't have it. Oh, he plays a Felwar Stone for 5. Wow, and he attacks for 1. Why is he attacking here? So now Max is at 8, and Mike is at 10. And Mike is going to
I mean, I think the logic of attacking is that he's in a non-dominant position and he's probably going to die anyway. And so he needs to do something to press. Like, he needs to get that extra damage in there and then maybe, get a ball lightning or something. I don't actually know what Max's life total is right now.
Max's life total is 8. It's 8-5. Max is at 8.
Is it 8?
Yeah, Mike is at 5. Okay, so he plays a Taiga. That's a mountain though, no green. And he passes. Holy crap. He didn't have anything.
Oh god. So there's probably 3 lands on top of his library, and so he just didn't get any relevant cards to play. That's so depressing.
Yeah.
It's so depressing when you're already losing to know with Sylvan Library that there's nothing good coming up. Like, you're not going to be able to get out of it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so he needs
So his only hope is that this 3rd card down is what? What even gets him out of it? No, I don't think there's anything.
Inferno could do 6 damage, but
kill him.
Max is at 8, so even Inferno wouldn't even get a draw. Yeah, he's dead. Oh, damn. Man, that match was brutal. Jesus Christ.
It was rough. It was real rough.
Really rough. Oh my gosh. Well, all right. So
game one was turn 3 Urnum, turn 4 Nethervoid, and game 2 was triple mana drain, double flash flood.
Yeah, like talk about a god draw. Holy crap! I need to get some of Max's magic luck, like for real. All right. Well, I think Mike gave it a really good try with his red-green Aggro Inferno deck. I think coming up against all those mana drains, and then on the sideboard match, all the flash floods. It's just really, really tough for Mike to be able to have any kind of maneuvering there. But hats off to Max for crushing it, and the Sylvan Sindbad Nethervoid deck moves on to the next match. So Max will be playing in the semifinals, I guess, right? In one of the semifinals matches. And in the next video, John and I will cover Jean-Simon JS versus Ian. All right, thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. This is the Chatster and John Eccleberry for the Four Horsemen Old School Magic Tournament number 9. We're signing off. Have a good night, everyone. Cheers.
Greetings, old school magic players, and welcome to the Four Horsemen.